Man, you look ugly in the morning, Uncle Al.
Just be quiet. Okay, boys and girls, it's your old pal, Uncle Al. Let's see. Now, Prepper Bob and Bug Out Bubba had a question. And I think Tyler was in the question on survival gardening. Now, a lot of people aren't farmers or ranchers. My family's been doing it for the last 350 years, and we've been in agriculture or something like agriculture in the last 100 years. So we're kind of tired. I'm kind of tired. Now, in the past, Social Security worked. A lot of old farmers died around 60. That's you pull in a 12-hour day and you die. That's why you had large families. So your kids do the work. Or in the South, your slaves do the work. Some of them were your kids. Jefferson. Sorry about that. Washington. Adams. Quit coughing. Anyway, get a coffee in me. Now, by the Department of Agriculture and also their food and nutrition section, you need about 4,000 square feet minimum. Minimum. A lot of people don't read the fine print. That's minimum, folks, of the feds. Minimum for 1 year for one person to grow food on. Okay? Unfortunately, we've been raised for the last 75 years, I think. 75 to about 85 to 100 years. We have no bloody idea what we're doing in gardens. Now, some people who are prepsteaders, homesteaders, got the idea. And I'm very happy they're raising goats, heifers, cows, chickens on the right track. Now, on survival gardening, you have to understand it cannot be a summer garden like our friend Dad on YouTube or DOE. It cannot be an herb garden and not the smoking kind either. I know Ron and Howie, their areas are kind of mixed, and also they're doing a different thing. You have to study all forms of gardening. I did. I understand it. It's Back to Basics, which is the channel you should all see. They're up in the same area as Hubble's. Really good guys. They know what they're doing. They lived in a little van and then they switched to a house. Totally off grid and totally they're practicing what they preach. Now, you got to know your growing region. This is what I tell a lot of people. Now, I switch regions a lot and gives me a headache after a while. Now, right now, I went from Delta to, let's see, Delta Mountains, Delta Desert. And each has a different growing season. Here, it's about 275. Up there, it was 100 and something. And up in the mountains, even less. So when I see other people like, we could save the plants and put them in a grow room. Yes and no. Some of them will survive. Some of them will not make it, and you'll find out in about a month. It's like, yeah, we could save him. We'll transplant this leg or head to this guy, to another guy, and he'll survive. No. Okay? This is the hard truth. Now, a lot of you guys are planting gardens, which is good. You learn the skill. Uncle Alan has a small garden in the back, which I put around. Most of the time, I grow roses and ornamental plants. Now, a lot of people don't know, and I'll never show it to you. My nephew has the farm, and I'll set aside. I always make sure when we have farmlands or a ranch or something, we set aside about 1 to 5 acres of grow fields. And a lot of my nephews, they look at me like, oh, Alan, that cost us money. And I said, how much money does it cost to see your family buried out in those 5 acres? And they'll look at me like, are you making a threat? No, you're going to kill them. Okay? But we have stored foods and all that other baloney and crud. they don't understand. That gives you, I think, palmetto preparedness. Anthony did a really good example and told people this is not fear porn, this is the truth. Your supplies either get you back to normal, people come and rescue you, or you're supposed to last until your first crop comes in. Now, I teach this. I wish I was a teacher and I wish I got my credentials. But I keep telling people you have to see early colonies, especially in America and Japan and Korea and China. Now, I always tell people, all right, they survived on trade routes. Now, early America, like the Pilgrims, they starved. Okay, a lot of settlements, including Spanish, did not survive until the next year. Okay, they thought they could live, we could live off of our stores until Columbus comes back. They died. Okay, first settlement in America by the Spanish, they all died, period. All right, they thought they could live off the stores, and the natives weren't too happy about it because they were competing against their food source. So I keep telling the people, you have to understand, no fear porn. I know my regulars usually watch me, and also I have to go and do fats and oils. Now, oils you can rotate, fats you have to be really careful on. Fats and oils go rancid really quick, and you have proper storage. No long-term storage, folks, okay? That's for October. Fats and cooking oils, all right? You cannot store them, okay? They have a time limit when exposed to air, heat, and light. And a lot of people say, well, Uncle Alan, you have in your cooking pantry, you have like gallons of this and gallons of that, and you have a tub of this. Yeah, because I use them to cook. And I cook over at the mission. So instead of going to the grocery store, I just pull out what I need out of my cooking pantry because I feed a bunch of people. Okay, now you got to understand, Cheryl did a really good video. Go check out Cheryl's channel. That's Cheryl Hirsch DUI Fund. Okay, you always start off with 3-day supply. Okay, I wrote it down. I know Cheryl wrote this down and remembered this. I hope Becky will. I tell people this is real easy plan. You start off with 1 day, 2 day, and finally got 3 days. Easy. And then you work your way up to a 7-day food supply. Basically, it's a 3-day supply with another 3-day supply plus 1 extra day. How easy is that? And don't forget our friends. And remember to mention these people. Yeah, I got too many people. And we got Corsairs Trainer. Go see Galvin at GM Survival. And we have Happy Camper. Let's get him up to Happy Prepper. Happy Prepper. Back up to 250. Okay, and don't forget tomorrow morning is Just in Time Prepping with Will at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. So go check them out. All right. I was originally going to talk about money, but I have to do more research on it. Okay, Uncle Alan doesn't have Dunlinger Kruger effect. He does his research and he knows what he's talking about. Okay, so we wanted to get cash. All right, because people are not going to trade you a loaf of bread for a bunch of old pineapples. Okay, and we'll get down to the passbook and all this later on. Okay, now up here, red state 2,500, blue state, this includes Puerto Rico. Remember, you need 4,800. And people still don't listen to that. Okay, back to gardening. You need 4,000 square feet per person. I always tell people, if you have a family of 4, you better have an acre. That's a family of 4. You do not want to do what the Irish did right before the Irish potato famine, shrink down the land, giving away by population growth. That's the families chopping up their lands to give their sons. And also monocropping, only putting your eggs in a basket in one crop or seasonal crop. And you know what happened to them? You had the great Irish potato famine, and they died horribly. That's why we had them migrating to all over the world. Okay? Now, again, too many summer gardens, too many herb gardens. It's fine for flavor and fine for vitamins and stuff. Bad for everything else. It won't keep you alive, kids. Biggest problem, people don't plant root crops. Now, I sent parsnips and beets and stuff like that. I think I was parsnips to my friend Hubble's cat. Parsnips are easiest to grow, easy to get seed from. They're heritage, they don't have any problems, and you can repeat the cycle. It's relative to the carrot, it's bigger and leaner, and tastes better and gives you more proteins. Now, the big trouble is everybody's hooked on potatoes. Well, trouble with potatoes is you have to be in a certain climate. Potatoes prefer a cool climate. Now, if you're in a desert or a tropical belt, which is the south, potatoes don't work too well. So you have to switch to sweet potatoes, yams, and on sweet potatoes there's a different variety, same with yams. Some are real sweet, some are yellow based, white based, some are different color bases, and you got to know them all. Now, let's say Anthony Palmetto prepared. I recommend a Japanese yam, or it's a sweet potato, we call them, but it gets confusing. But anyway, it's a white base. It's a Japanese type yam. It's real starchy. It has less sugar than the American yam, which is kind of yellow. And that was bred for sweetness. Japanese, we bred it for starch because one of the uses out of it is we prepare it, dry it, and make a type of potato starch out of it. Okay? Now, you need some kind of root crop. You need some kind of bean crop or pea crop. And then you need some kind of vegetable crop or starch crop. Okay? Now, again, with this summer gardens, you have to be really careful. Some of them doesn't cross over and for winter storage and give you enough energy over the winter season. So you got to understand this. All right? Most of your food is going to be either root crop or one of the seven sisters, or three sisters, which is going to be corn, beans, and squash and pumpkins. And trust me, you get tired of squash and pumpkins a lot. Okay, now yes, this is going to be a little long one because everybody's showing me everything. And I keep telling them, the ones I show in my backyard is not really where I grow food. That's because I just want to drive 40 minutes out of town to go to the farm. Boom, Cloud, we can fish and forage. If we have an unsustainable population, fishing and foraging doesn't hack it. And way things are going and polluted environment. And if you ever read my essay on Easter Island, I keep telling this, there'll be a lot of cannibals, like the Mayans and the Aztecs. But Uncle, we don't understand. This is why Uncle tired. But the Democrats have answers. I don't think so, Uni. Well, how about Donald Trump? Serious, Dina? Boy, you're slow. It's cold in the morning. It takes me time to move around. And you wonder why Uncle's nuts. Now, Cheryl did mention that I have a case full of supplies. That's the monthly supplies. That's for my get out of Dodge Town. Now, a lot of people don't realize that your book out bag only holds a certain amount of food. All right? And you're not going to be lugging around a 5-gallon bucket. Now, I have a nice carry-all, which has a month's supply of food, because Uncle Al figured out the math and did all the weights and measurements. And I could boogie really fast. So what's in my backpack and what I got in my carry-all, and probably an extra food bucket, I will survive. You will die, period. Okay, folks, I better cut it short, because I know this ran over 15 minutes again. Bye, kids.
Hi, folks. Where's the old dinosaur, Uncle Al?
Probably asleep.
No, I'm not.
Okay, bye, kids.